You're trying to be like your mother, overseeing things from afar, but you are not her.
I'm sorry about Mara. I'm sorry I'm not her.
You're a bad friend.
That's not what they need. My people turned our planet, all of Etheria, into a weapon.
Podcast character designs done by Demon Artie. Like fan art, redesigns, original art, then Demon Artie's the artist you're going to want to follow. Be sure to check her out over on Twitter at ArtieDemon. If you like what you see, also consider supporting Demon Artie over on Patreon. For only $3 a month, you get access to Patreon-only community, concept art, voting on new art, bonus sketches, and the all-important fan service. So definitely check her out over on Patreon, because supporting independent art and artists is important. So we're finally here. Season 5 premiere of She-Ra and the Princesses of Power. And this first episode, overall, it was just okay. What really saved the episode is Horde Prime. He's a pretty cool villain. I'm liking him so far, even though we only got, a little bit of the end of last season. And here, he's a bad dude. He seems to have a vast knowledge, and he seems to be toying with people, but very villainous stuff. Stuff I wanted Hordak to be like when I first heard about the series, but it's cool that he has it. As for everything else, pretty bad. It's not paced very well. If you watch the ending of season 4, it was just Bo and Adora out there, after she blew up the sword, and we're like, whoa, what's gonna happen? Then it just feels like we probably skipped a couple of weeks because everyone's all together and they're fighting together. Like, when did they gather the princesses? When did Micah meet Shadow Weaver? They're just talking and everything. I really wanted to see that, meeting at first, because that's going to be like pretty awkward. But now it just seems like they've already been like working together for a while. So what the hell? Like, we were missing episodes. But that's what everyone's been saying. The reviewers, even the CBRs and the, all those kinds of websites that just love everything about She-Ra, they even admitted that this season felt rushed. So I can only imagine how bad it actually really is, because that whole setup, we should have seen that as an audience. Now they just skip over it. So we see all the spaceships, we open up. By the end of the episode is Horde Prime, but we really don't really see them all that much. And they're out nice. Their space shot looks pretty cool. And then you see all the giant armadas of ships. I guess the only reason Horde Prime doesn't win in 5 seconds, because he probably could, is that one, he's like maybe studying the planet and he likes to screw with people. So he's going to end up losing because of his own hubris, but whatever. They're dropping like these little, I don't want to say obelisks type things. And then a bunch of the soldiers are coming out. So there's the land invasion. Why don't they have tanks? And they obviously have spaceships. I'm sure they have fighter planes and bombers and stuff, but whatever. And then we get that clip that we saw in that they've been sharing. So all those clips they showed on Twitter are pretty much all from this first episode, which is odd. Usually they kind of mix it all up, but it's all literally from this first episode. So we see one of these drones scanning these generic kids, and then we get that Adora jumping out for Etheria and starts beating everything up. And she already has like this staff. It just felt rushed. So from the end of season 3 to now, she has another weapon. Wouldn't it have been nice to see that? No, she just has it now. And she saves these little kids, and then Bo shoots one of these things, and then, oh God. I hoped that since she destroyed the sword, and the sword made Swiftwind, that Swiftwind would be dead. But no, he's here, loud and obnoxious and an idiot like he's always been. They try to be funny, and it's a serious situation. It's not funny. Bo shoots down one of the stupid drones. One down. Or he killed 2 because Adora killed another one. And then Swift was like, yeah, and a whole galaxy more to go. Yes, our situation is bleak and dire. Let's make jokes. Then we get the other princesses just kind of just wiping up some, these are like probably his worst soldiers, his worst machines. So they're just beating everything up. And that's when you get the line of Mermista, I guess I'll get the other one. Why are you like this? Why are you like this? What would it take for any of these characters to take anything seriously, ever? It's just ridiculous that they're still like in silly mode. I've gotten you after 5 seasons, but since we had that little break between seasons, it just shows you how the animation in this show, and it ain't so good. There's some scenes where it's very choppy, very like, whoa, they really didn't care what this looked like. When a character is more than, I don't know, 5 feet from the camera, they really phone it in on the art and it looks really bad. But there's also moments where it looks really, really good. So it's just inconsistent animation and art's just all over the place. But they're saving these generic forest people. These were like performers people. And they're the same like 5 or 6 people we see in every single episode that they show background characters. They use the same characters. That's really lazy. But these things keep attacking, and I don't know why they don't just kill everybody. It's so weird why he just doesn't win. It'd be like playing against a bunch of little kids and just losing on purpose just to extend the game. Ugh, I hate bad guys that do that. So thank God they're near a river, so Mermista can use her powers. So she hits some of these things with water and they're knocking them around, and she was just running around acting like an idiot, screaming all the time, making these kinds of faces. This is the I have to prove myself. But she has done this for 4 seasons in a row and she's going to do it again. Freaking get over it already. So she's trying to prove that she can fight without being She-Ra, and she forgets she can't turn into She-Ra, and kind of gets knocked around a little bit. I don't like this kind of stuff where she like gets hit and she's like, oh, owie, ee, ooh, ah.
I'm okay. I'm okay.
Are you even really hurt? Or are you just like goofing around? You say that like when you're playing basketball and someone kind of, hard fouls you just a little bit. This is a robot that's trying to kill you. Ooh, ee, oh, ow, my ribs. But Mermista saves her, and this is where they always try to inject comedy all the time. This is where I would have put in not necessarily comedy, but a lighthearted moment. I would have had, instead of how they did it, I would have had Mermista go up there and say, "Come on, Etheria. We have to save these people. That's our mission. Fighting these robots isn't the mission, because killing 4 of them when there's like 4 million, it really doesn't matter. We have to save these people." And then kind of give her a little smile like, hey, if we come back now, I'll even let you be She-Ra. Like she did that whole thing like, you're She-Ra and I'm She-Ra. And give her that little smile of like, come on, let's work together. I think that would have been a funnier, more, real moment between these two characters. But no, they're just idiots because Etheria just runs off and then Mermista just screams. We get that impossible slide kick that doesn't even really make, if you actually watch it, she doesn't even make contact with the robot. It just falls over. And then she like stabs it in the face. And then we get that whole Horde Prime like, who's this? I was hoping for a whole brand new opener. I'm always big on that. I know it takes a lot of money and it really doesn't add to the story, but I think it's cool. Animes do this all the time where every season has a brand new opener. She-Ra, not so much. They just kind of throw in 1 or 2 little things. Like they throw in this little scene with Horde Prime, and the ending screen where it shows like all of them standing together is a little bit different. But that's it, man. They don't really make a new opening. Every stupid person I know makes the comparison to Last Airbender all the time. Oh, Catra's like Zuko. Oh, Catra's like Azula. They always make that dumb comparison. But oh my goodness, this is exactly from Last Airbender. Like it's exactly the same scene. Remember when Aang would go into like the astral plane and like he saw the big dark version of himself and he had to make that connection, and should loving Katara be something he should hold on to or something he should let go? Remember that whole existential crisis he had? That was awesome and amazing. Well, they do that here, but with none of that. So she's like in some outer space astral plane, just like Aang, and she's seeing flashes and memories and like visions and stuff. She sees like a glowing She-Ra, just like how Aang saw the other avatar, and she's like reaching out to it and everything, and it's just a big, huge, complete ripoff. Oh my goodness. She wakes up from her vision nightmare, and she's in bed. She looks so nice with her hair down. Why didn't she just keep it down? Then this is the animation I'm talking about. Didn't that just seem like stiff, and it didn't move right? Ugh, it's inconsistent. Then she puts her hair in the ponytail and the little poofy thing that's just awful. And we see the camp that's like under some protection thing. And I'm thinking, like, when did all this happen? They just skipped to it. Ugh, 13 episodes, yeah, hooray. We see that, I thought it was a protection shield, but we find out later that it's an illusion shield. So the wizards, all the wizards down in the Cadazzle, all the wizards and sorcerers are there putting up this giant illusion shield, which is not a bad idea, but if it doesn't actually provide any actual like protection, There's nothing stopping him from just dropping bombs from outer space and just killing everyone. There, we see other people there, and they're like, preparing stuff. We see Seahawk cleaning his laser sword with a leaf. First, I thought he was sharpening him, but I'm like, it's a freaking laser sword or his laser saber. But like, he's cleaning it with the leaf. What sense does that even make? So he's there. We see Entrapped and Bo. So they're working on stuff, and they want to. She-Ra wants to get, or Adora wants to get the ship up and running so they can go try to rescue Glimmer. But they're like, hey, this is like a delicate thing. We're going in outer space it's not so easy. Then Entrapped goes in explaining everything because she loves outer space. The only character that I don't mind acting this way, because all the characters act silly like this, is Entrapped, because she's always been like this from the very beginning. And you can tell that, she does have these social issue problems. Like, it's hard for her to connect with people and living things. So machines really get her excited and everything. And people keep throwing autism and all that stuff around. You know what? Whatever. I just think that she just likes machines, and that just really fascinates her. So she's bouncing around and everything. It does get a little silly, but okay. I can stomach it for a little bit. But she's like, oh no, trying to get all this stuff in outer space, because if we mess up just a little bit, we're gonna die. It's not like, we can try again. No, something goes wrong with this ship while we're up there, we're all going to die. So she's like, oh yeah, it's just gonna take a lot of time to get this figured out. They're like, we don't have a lot of time. Then she kind of does a whole like evil scientist. Okay, Washu, we get it. Then we start overhearing some of the other people. So everyone's already all together, working together. We got Micah and Shadow Reaver just talking to each other. I thought this reunion should have been something I wanted to experience. This can't be the first time they started talking, because this is crazy. Because the last real time he saw Shadow Reaver was when he was a boy and she ate the freaking head wizard guy and almost killed him after tricking him into doing that spell. So there's like all these weird emotions, and so they're like arguing about what they should be doing because they abandoned Bright Moon. Thanks for letting us see that. Oh, wait a second. We don't get to see that because 13 episodes. So she doesn't agree that they should have abandoned Bright Moon. But he's like, hey, we have to hide somewhere. We can't be there. We can't defend from that. So we have to use illusion spells to hide our people. Then she starts throwing around like, oh, Glimmer wouldn't have done this. And I'm thinking, Shadow Weaver, you can't be talking to the man about his daughter. Like, what the hell's wrong with you? But they're kind of at odds. And then they're like, we have to use the weapon. We have to use the Heart of Etheria. And I don't like this kind of talking to how everyone talks to each other.
I just can't.
Okay, so we're not doing that because A, without Glimmer, and more importantly, without She-Ra, the Heart of Etheria won't work. And B, when it did work, it nearly destroyed everyone. So, no, thanks.
Oh, and also C, we don't like you and we don't want your help.
We gotta talk like that. And then everyone's like yelling at Shadow Weaver. It's just so weird because she's been working with you guys since season 4. Now everyone hates her. It's so stupid. And this is where the comedy, I'm laughing because it's stupid, not because it's actually funny. I got Perfume. Aren't you a prisoner? Do we need a list of people who are prisoners? I like how this captain of the guard lady just stands there. So no one's in charge. No one's doing anything. So Dora's walking in and they're talking, and Micah's like, well, okay, another one of these pylon things has been seen near one of these places. And then Mermista, of course they have big poofy like beanbag chairs. My God, can they take anything seriously? Ugh, didn't we just save that place? Oh no, that was it Mysteria? Whatever the names of these stupid places they only say a couple of times. No, it's this other one. Why does this always have to happen? Why do you have to talk? Ugh. But then they're like, Dora's like, I'll go by myself. Oh my gosh, she's so stupid. And then Perfumer's like, remember, dearie, you're not She-Ra anymore. like she doesn't know. So they're all talking, but then everyone's like, okay, whatever. They walk out, and then Mike is like, I believe in you. You're gonna save everyone. You're gonna save my daughter because I still have faith in you. And that's really nice that he kind of gave her that like I still believe in you moment. Get to the interesting. That's all 4 seasons, and in this first episode, probably throughout the whole thing, the villains are the most interesting people. So we get to Glimmer. She's in her prison, but it's a pretty nice prison. It's sparse, but yet she has like a nice bed and there's a chair. And she's like trying to walk and look around, but she's behind a force field. She's like hitting on it. She tries to teleport. You see a little bit of the magic like sparkle, but it's not enough for her to do anything. And she's all banging on the thing, asking, is anyone out there? And Catra's there, and you see that she has a little bit of a concerned look on her face. because as much as she's kind of free to walk around, she's just as much as a prisoner as Glimmer is. Get back to the mission. They're going to go save some other stupid place. And we got Swiftwind and Scorpia. Scorpia is a nice lady. Swiftwind is a stupid horse. And by God, they put them together and it's pretty grating. They're saving the same 5 people that they saved over and over again. This super buff ox lady has been seen like 10 times in the background. This is someone's OC because it's drawn too well. And it's one of the few characters that actually has boobs, which is awesome. So we get to Scorpia and Swiftwind and they're talking and they're trying to be funny. And, oh, did you know sometimes I sing? You can sing? I love singing. Catra always thought it was stupid. This is going to be so awesome. We're such a great team. You only got 13 episodes, guys. We don't need these scenes like this. This next little scene is actually kind of nice. They're saving the woodland people, the same 5 ones, and the little girl drops drops a She-Ra doll. Adora sees it, and of course it kind of, no dialogue here. She kind of just sees it and picks it up. You can tell it hurts her heart because she can't be this anymore. This child has looked up to She-Ra to be a savior, and she cannot be that savior. Not right now, anyways. So she picks it up, gives it back to the little girl, and she sees Adora, and I'm pretty sure this little girl recognizes her, like, oh, there she is. She's going to save us. She's going to help us. And, Adora gets that little smile on her face, but deep down inside, it's like, oh, sorry, kid, I can't really do it anymore. Then they see some Horde clones, and this is the first time they've seen these clones. And Swift is like, oh my goodness, there's 3 Hordax. How's that possible? But I guess these are the clones, and they're like, okay, let's just get out of here. We already saved the people. We don't need to fight. And the dum-dum just runs into battle. We get to Catra, and we get that same exact scene where she walks in, and I guess Horde Prime wanted to talk to her. He sees like downloading or doing something because his eyes are like all green. And when she walks in there, he's not responding, and she like gets really close to him. I'm wondering if this is going to be used against him because he seems to be pretty vulnerable in this state. It's almost crazy that he allowed her in the room while this was happening because she could have like, I don't know, maybe pulled some plugs or attacked him or something. But he's like, oh, and it's almost, did he say Catra? It's not like he said Catra.
Catra.
I don't know. I thought that was funny. Maybe it's just his accent. But he's like, oh, I was just downloading my brother's dreams, downloading his memories and everything. And he's like, he didn't have much love for you. Here's the thing. He used the word love, which is an odd concept for someone so evil. He's an interesting dude. I like Horde Prime. He seems to have a multifaceted and just such a strange person I want to know about, because why would he use the word love knowing that he doesn't know what that is? Like, for real, like, honestly, do you think someone who can murder billions of people could know what love is? So I thought that was really odd that he said that, walking towards her, and just like a really cool bad guy, super intimidating. You can see Catra's ears are down, and she's trying to play a big game. She's like, I that big weapon, and I'm the only one who knows how to work it. And just look at this face. He knows she's lying. He knows for 1,000 bazillion % that this stupid cat girl is lying out of her butt. So he just has his smile like, I can't believe you're lying right to my face, but whatever. He's walking around her, and he's like, you need to pledge your allegiance to me. Like, are you ready to do that? And, does the inappropriate shoulder touch. And this is what I'm talking about, like the art. Look at this close up on Horde Prime's face. It looks super good. I love this. This downward angle when he's looking down on her. Look, it's good. This is where the art's pretty dang good. Other times it's like, oh my goodness, who the hell drew this? It's so that just the dialogue is weird, because instead of like when he says, are you ready to basically pledge your allegiance to me? She doesn't say yes. She says, I'm ready.
What do you say?
I'm ready.
To me, that makes it sound like she's going to undergo some type of process. Is he going to use his little dreadlocks to like mind infuse with her and like, brainwash her to an extent like he does the other clones? There's got to be something more to this, because you don't use those words. There's got to be some meaning there. We get more Avatar ripoffs. She's having these visions and these dreams. And remember how I praised the way it looked in the previous scene with Horde Prime and Catra? So she's dreaming. She sees the other She-Ra. It's like leading her somewhere. Then look at this. Oh my goodness. This is so bad. Oh my goodness. This is awful. Oh my goodness. Then she's reaching out to her. She doesn't know what it means. And then she wakes up and makes this frog face. She like passed out. I'm like, what happened? She went to attack these. Like maybe she got attacked or something. Apparently Scorpia just stinged her to knock her out. And then this is more Adora being like stupid drunk Adora. A lot of people like that. I don't know. I don't like it. You stung me. And they're trying to explain to her, like, dude, you're running in there, going to get everyone freaking killed. Stop being a moron. So she kind of like begrudgingly, like, okay, whatever. But what I wanted to do was capture one of these clones and then like interrogate him, which is a good idea. Maybe you should have shared that plan with everybody. And then Poe's like, well, okay, it's reckless, but it's not a bad idea. But let's do it together. Teamwork. Season 1, episode 4 stuff, not season 5 where the characters learn to work together. What the hell? This girl has to learn the lessons over and over and over and over again. So they get to where, I guess, the abandoned cities, they already saved everybody. The whole population of 6 people in this whole village. So they're walking around and they kind of isolate one of these Horde Prime clones. Then, I'm the baddest bitch in the world, look. They don't know how strong these things are. They don't know the capabilities of them. But apparently they suck because he just gets his ass whooped just like the other Horde. Doesn't even put up a fight. Doesn't even land a blow. Nothing. He gets one punched by freaking Scorpia. Maybe Horde Prime isn't all that great. Maybe his soldiers do suck because this guy didn't even put up a fight. So they're the best. They're the baddest bitches in the world. That's counting Bo too. He's part of the bad bitch crew. Get back to Glimmer, and she's still banging on the door. You can't keep me here forever. And I think to myself, actually, you can. Scorpio walks up, and then she's like, "How's it going, princess?" And this is a decent back and forth here. I do like this scene because Catra is trying to do what she always does. I'm better than you. Ha ha ha. I'm smart and you're dumb and I'm great and you're terrible. And I'm here and I'm going to work my way up here. And it's just like being in the fright zone. What's the difference? Space, ground, it doesn't matter. I'm important. I'm going to be a part of this team. Then Glimmer gives her the like, are you an idiot? You honestly think this is going to work out for you? Look what he did to Hordek. And that's like his brother, and he's going to just throw you away just like he did his brother. You can't work your way up this ladder. There's nothing here for you. And then like Catra starts to get all pissed off because she knows it's true. Some of the clones show up and then they invite him to dinner. Be a guest. That would have been amazing. They should have had a musical number here. So they get invited to dinner, and look at this look they give each other because they both know they literally have no idea what's going to go on. If they're going to get invited to dinner and they're both going to be killed, or this would be a super high stressful situation for both of them. And I like that. That's really cool. Get back to the dum-dums, and they're interrogating one of these Horde clones. I was wondering if these guys would be super robotic or not, but they seem to have their own personalities and stuff. And remember that scene in Samurai Jack when Jack captured, oh my goodness, I forgot her name. But then she just kept spouting about how great and wonderful Aku was. And he's the master. He sees all, knows all. He raises the sun in the night. So that's exactly how these clones are. All they do is praise Horde Prime, how great and wonderful it is. And of course they don't like that. And he kind of gives up some information. Oh, your queen is on he's on the mothership with Horde Prime. She's an honored guest. She'll be safe, but unlike you and your friends. And so he just keeps spouting off, and then the comedy. Oh, let me grab his little lips and pinch him. Okay. Then he starts laughing. He's like, yeah, your friends are in danger. Ha ha ha. Then Micah shoots up a I'm in trouble moon symbol in the sky. So they run off. I wonder, did they bring him along? I don't know. I didn't really pay attention. I don't care. And so they're being attacked. So their little illusion shield obviously didn't work. So they're being attacked, and then we get action. It's mediocre. It varies in quality from scene to scene. But these guys are just, I don't know, they're really not trying to fight very well because they're just like walking in. Maybe because they have such large numbers, they don't really need to fight well, but they're just kind of walking into stuff. And then we get this scene here. Just let me look at this. Isn't it funny to see Shadow Weaver just slowly move like a slug across the ground? It's so cheap. But Entrapped is like collecting stuff because all this tech, it's so awesome. I gotta collect it all. Micah goes to save her because I think there's a little bit of a connection there because they were both on Beast Island for a while, and she saved him and now he's saving her. So I think he kind of sees her as like a daughter, even though they're probably the same age. Or like maybe 10 years apart, because when is she 30? What is he, like maybe in his 40s? It's so stupid. So he goes to save her and stuff, and then we get a It would have been cool if she would have used magic, but I guess she doesn't have magic anymore. And they're about to be attacked by one of these robots, Micah and Entrapta, and then Shadow Weaver saves them, like hits the robot with like, I don't know, like an explosive acid thing. And then Micah looks over at Shadow Weaver and he's like, oh, okay. Then he kind of gives you this, I don't know, smile. What is this look? I don't know what this look is. But then he goes, oh, come on, Entrapta, let's get out of here. And Shadow was like, okay, you can thank me, but that's so weird. I wonder, is she trying to make up for all the wrong that she's done? That's interesting. Again, like I said, the bad guys are the most interesting part of the show. Scorpia has lightning powers and she just lightning punches a bunch of these dudes, and then more fighting and hitting things around. And then we get a screen transition worthy of Stanley Kubrick.
Fedora, wait!
I can do this! Ah!
That's so silly. Oh, we're cutting Jell-O. So he like makes this gigantic spread. I mean, it's enough to feed like 15 people, let alone 3. And I don't even think Horde Prime needs to eat. So like, why does he even have food in the first place? So he has all this food out because I guess he thinks Glimmer needs to eat a lot. So his little servants are dropping food and everything. We already seen this from the trailers, but I'm still going to cover it. And he's like, oh, Your Highness, please eat. This is a rare delicacy from a planet. And then they start to eat it. Oh, it's so rare because the planet doesn't exist anymore. So he's showing his power, his malevolence, his severe lack of for living things, because they don't mean anything to him. So like, this is a really good, very bad guy thing to do, which is awesome. That's why I really like Horde Prime. He's a cool dude. Then he's like, oh, just kind of going on and on about this. And, Glimmer's just like, first of all, she's super nervous. She doesn't want to do this. And they go, do you want more? Do you want seconds? And she's like, no, it's fine. And look at these close-ups on his face. Look at that smile. Oh, he's such a cool dude. Then he's like, oh, do you want to see your friends? And she's like, what do you mean? Here, look. He does his Thanos snap, and then we get footage from these robots. And it's the battle, and they're getting their butts kicked. And he's like, oh, and there's also, she's like, well, why are you doing this? Or why? Oh, there's always a beacon of hope in any rebellion, any army. There's always someone they look to. And there she is. And then he says Adora and he says She-Ra. So how does he know what She-Ra is? Like, to what capacity? I guess he did take Hordak's memory. So that's how he knows what She-Ra is, I guess. But as much as Hordak knows. And then he's like, oh, but once you crush that, then it's all done. But when he mentions Adora, look at Catra. And anytime anyone mentions her waifu, she has to freaking get all about it. But these close-ups are great. These expressions are awesome. So even on Glimmer, when she's like crying and stuff, it looks really good. But we see that, the rebellion's getting their butt kicked. And they have Adora dead to freaking rights. She is surrounded by these robots and not even trying to fight back. She just cowers and she's going to die. She's going to die like a freaking dog. And then, like I said, look at this close-up of her crying, and she's like, it looks great. I love it so much. She's like, please don't do this. Do not hurt her. Remember we told you want this weapon, you need all the princesses, and you need She-Ra too. So if you kill her, you're never going to get this weapon. And then I think he's just doing this just to break her, just to get her to basically saying, oh, I saved your little friend. Now you have to do everything I have to say. And look at, it looks so good. I love this close-ups and this smile, his smirk. He's like, okay. So he's going to let her live. And then, they sit back down and it's just like the most awkward dinner of all time. And she's all crying and sobbing. And Catra's just sitting there this whole time and she doesn't even know what to say or to add anything to the conversation. So she just kind of looks around and just kind of just sits there. Get back to Adora and Scorpia saves her. But she has to know these robots stopped attacking me. She has to know something must have happened because there's no way they would have just stood there. And no one else noticed this but me, apparently. And then we get, again, a season 1, episode 9 lesson. I can't do this on my own. I don't have the power. You have friends, dummy. You've had friends since episode 1. Well, what is this whole I have to do it on my own thing? Then we get this is so cheap. This screenshot looks pretty okay, right? But okay, let me show you the video.
You've never been.
How cheap is that? They're not even moving. Oh my goodness, they're so cheap. The cheap animation kills me. But it's like, yo, we're cool bros now because we're going to do it together. And then they have this montage of like, Bo on the right. Oh, Scorpia coming at you. So like she's like shouting out orders and stuff. But didn't Horde Prime give the order not to kill them? So they're fighting robots that aren't really fighting back. They don't know that, but they have to know that, right? If you're playing a game of basketball against someone or any type of physical sport and the other person stopped trying, wouldn't you notice it? Wouldn't you get like, oh crap, they were just dunking on me 3 seconds ago. Now they can't dribble the ball. That's what's happening here. So they're doing all these things and they're trying to do cute little moves. And she does this little thing with Frosta.
Frosta! Ice catapult!
What was the point of that? Couldn't you have just shot more ice shards and ice punched them? What was the point of this weird, let me launch you off my stick? What, do they practice this? But yeah, they win and then it gets all smiles because they're awesome. Get back to Glimmer is like, okay, I'm done with dinner. I'm going back to my room. And Catra trying to be Catra, but I love, this is great. I love this scene. She's like, she's so predictable to get her to do this. And he's like, yeah, just as predictable as you. Oh, what do you mean? Look at this face. Look at that face. She deserves every second of this. He's like, yeah, you're just as manipulative as she is. I know exactly what you're feeling. What do you mean? This Adora girl means something to you, doesn't she? No, she doesn't. He's like, your pupils are dilated, your heart rate's raising. Yeah, when I brought her up, I know exactly there's something between you two. She chose her path and I chose mine. And she's trying to almost like, who are you trying to convince, me or you? And he's like, now I know about She-Ra and the weapon and how it works and everything. Well, what do I need you for? And then she just has that look on her face like, oh my God, he's going to kill me. But he's like, I think he finds Catra interesting and like, oh, maybe I can, instead of having all clones, maybe I can manipulate this girl or do whatever that he does to the clones on her to see if it works. Well, I don't know. This is just my predictions. But he's like, maybe there's some use for you after all. Everything in the machine has a use. And then he kind of calls her little sister. And it's pretty creepy, right?
I have great plans for you. Every part of the machine is of value. Even you, little sister.
I don't like it. I'm glad this is just a cartoon and it's for kids and it's not like some Game of Thrones thing, because I would really be scared for Catra. But since it's just a cartoon, there's nothing like that caliber of crap is going to happen to her. But my goodness, is this freaking creepy. But I absolutely love him as a villain because look at these. Again, I keep saying this. Look at these faces. They're just great. But he's like, yeah. So Catra's going to have to probably give up some of her free will to him, but she's got to live because he calls her out. He tells her, did you think this whole thing of you piecemealing me information was going to last very long? Which is exactly what I said at the end of season 3. Like, how long does she think this ruse about me knowing the weapon's going to help? Because he already knows everything now. But he's going to keep her around. And we don't know what for. Maybe it's just for fun. Maybe it's for an experiment. Who knows? Maybe it's because she has plot armor. Adora had some vision about a safe place. I'm like, what the hell? And she's walking around the forest. And this is where we get some more weird art with, just the way it moves and everything. She's like, oh, there was this place in the Whispering Woods that Madame Raz showed me. And I seen it in my visions. So the forest opens up and they get inside there and look at this shot. Does a single character look on model here at all? They all look weird. And Micah's really small. I know he's not a very tall dude, but my goodness, he's as tall as the kids. Then we get these kinds of faces. I guess she's supposed to be in Wonderman or whatever. It just looks weird. And they're like, oh, this will be safe here. How are they going to be safe there? Nobody knows. Guess it's all magical, powerful. But if he drops a laser bomb or whatever on this thing, would it hurt them? I don't know. They don't explain what this place actually is. Then she's like, oh, we're all going to be safe here because Madame Raz. She told me this was a safe place. Then she has another one of her Aang freakouts, and she started having flashbacks. She's yelling and screaming, makes funny faces like this, and she sees I want to just call it the Avatar. She sees the Avatar in outer space, and she's having a little bit of a freak out, passes out, end of the episode. Not too bad. Could have been way worse. Horde Prime really saves this whole first episode. Hopefully he stays cool, he stays evil, stays this bastard of a character with these, this I'm 10 steps ahead of you type of smile. I love that. Everything else just meh, especially Adora learning the lessons of teamwork in season 5, which is absolutely ridiculous. But we have 12 more episodes to go, and don't spoil in the comments if all possible. I know by the time this posts, everyone's already watched the whole entire series 5 times over because no one has patience anymore. But yeah, keep watching, guys. I'm going to try to do 1 episode a day. I might have to take a couple of breaks, but I'm definitely going to get all the way through it. And stay subbed, comments, try to keep spoilers a little under wraps, but you know, have at it, guys.
Hey. Ready to go again?
Crimson Saint here. Thanks for watching the video. If you're enjoying the content, be sure to sub, like, share, and hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss a single upload. If you have any tips or story ideas, hit us up on Twitter at C15 Podcast, or better yet, join our Discord server, link in the description below.